What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It's the 27th day of August, and here we are sitting at about $3, almost $3.01 there. 2 hours, 47 minutes left in the day as it stands. I was calling yesterday for XRP to come down, but not to find a lower low, but to find a higher low, maybe somewhere around like 285, 290, something like that. I'm starting to believe that we might not go lower, and in fact, we might be on our way higher. If we're looking at the liquidations here, let's go to XRP. Let's just see what's going on. Over the past day, longs and shorts are pretty equal. Over the past week, longs outweigh shorts, and over the past 30 days, shorts way outweigh the longs. I think that it's time to see these shorts get squeezed and for us to move up higher. That doesn't mean that we can't go down first, but I'm starting to think, with Bitcoin turning around and Ethereum holding up rather well, I would assume that XRP is going to hold up as well. Looking at it here, still at about 4,600 for Ethereum, and Bitcoin has come up a good little bit since its low from earlier today. If we're looking at this here on a 1 hour time frame, where I thought that we'd come down, we've just been holding up, right? We had a little bit of a fake out here on the last hour. We wicked down, but then we came back up right away, right? And we're just still here in this area. That fake out makes me think that we are more likely to go to the upside here. Looking at the RSI, we are in a more bullish posturing, holding above the 50, right? I don't like that we rejected the overbought zone, and that might be what attributed this little bit of a low price move here, but we still are holding the 50, and I think we look like we're in good shape. If we're looking at the other indicators, let's see. Stochastics are kind of neutral, but neutrally postured right now after being overbought like this. That's more bullish than anything. Like, you're not getting oversold. That's actually very bullish, so I like the way that looks. And the MACD is overall bullish, but you are building some bearish momentum at the moment, but I'm not really worried about that. The bearish momentum is dying off. You're getting higher lows in your histogram, so you got higher lows in your price, lower lows in the oscillator, even lower lows on the RSI there. That's hidden bullish divergence. That's actually a good thing, not a bad thing. So it's like here, you moved up, you had your correction, you should have gone, I don't know why I did that, you glitched. You had your correction, you should have gone lower here, but instead you've held up and you're doing rather well for yourself. So I think that we're going to continue to either hold here or move higher very soon. I don't know why my computer's like glitching out. And I would assume that we're on our way up in just a matter of days, if not hours at this point. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, the 4 hour RSI is bearish, I would say. I mean, in a bullish posturing here, but bearish overall. You're living below the 50, but you hate being oversold. You clearly do. When you get overbought, you're nice and deep in the overbought zone. Here, you just really reluctantly even get near the oversold zone, let alone if you're in there. It's barely at all. I would expect that we see some bullish upside here. We're looking for a bit of a difference in behavior, and I think we're starting to get it, right? Where here you're rejecting the 50 and getting oversold. The first bit of difference was you didn't get oversold. Then you went above the 50, right? Came back down to the oversold zone, but you didn't get oversold. Now you're back up here. The difference in behavior that I want to see is that we either don't cross below the 50 or we just don't go to the oversold zone. Hold the 40, hold the 50, something like that as support, and most importantly, get overbought. We haven't been overbought in quite some time. It is Wednesday right now, the 27th of August. We've got 4 more days left in this week. Thursday and Friday left in the business week here, so hopefully over the next couple of days we can get overbought on the 4 hour time frame and continue to move up, not just like above $3.07, not just a couple of percentage points up, but to move up maybe to like 320 or higher, and maybe even dramatically higher than that over the next couple of days. Stochastics do look good. I was a little bit worried with this rejection off the overbought zone here. That's not a good look, but you're persisting higher still, so I like that. We've done that kind of stuff before, and that does promote higher prices. Inevitably, you went lower here. That's not a great example, but I'm just saying, for example, here you rejected your overbought zone, you still continue to build. Hopefully, you get a different reaction. You don't just spill over. You actually continue to move. And with that, looking at this here, you had an uptrend that you were breaking out of. Here, you've got a downtrend that it looks like you're breaking out of right now, doesn't it? Let's see. I don't know what's going on with this, man. Why is it being so slow? It's being very laggy. Let's see if that helps. If I do that, that should help. Okay. Might be a little bit louder, but that's okay. You're breaking out of this downtrend here with this move. So that, I think that you will get a little bit of a different result with that move to the upside. The MACD is starting to cross above the 0. The MACD's been very unreliable. We've had a bullish cross, a bearish cross, now we're getting a bullish cross again, so I'm not going to weigh too heavy on that. Just can't make up our minds. When you're moving sideways like this and doing this volatile stuff, the MACD is a little bit less reliable, so It's nice, it's cool, but I'm not going to get too excited over that, right? I'm not going to hold my breath over some upside just because the MACD is crossing above the zero. All in all, I do like the shape of the price here. I like this little like U in the middle. It's got this like W shape to it, but this kind of U, it typically is friendly, right? You had that same kind of shape here, and boom, you went up. That's not the same, right? It's different. It's different. Here it's like the reverse. That might be negative, but actually you went up there, so that's not a good example of that either. But let's just see if we can find one. I don't know. You've got it kind of right there, and then you moved up right there on a small scale, and you moved up. I don't know, right there, right? Just like that right there. Literally, that's a perfect example, and then you moved up. Exactly what we're looking for here. Do something very similar to that, and I think that you will not just move above these highs, relatively speaking, but up to new all-time highs altogether. If we're looking at this on a daily time frame now, I'm going to turn this down and see if it does fix itself sometimes. I don't know why it's being so glitchy today, man, of all days. The MACD is starting to turn around here. We are building or decaying in bearish momentum, and you're at an area where you'd expect to bounce at the zero line there, so that's perfect. The zero here, these oscillators bouncing at the zero. If we can cross up and get some green days, that would promote some serious growth. Stochastics don't have bullish divergence. I guess to some degree they do, but we're bouncing off the oversold zone, and I think that's really nice to see. The RSI, this is kind of interesting, right? And I was talking about this, it was for syrup, for Maple Finance. I made a video on syrup earlier today, and we were doing a similar kind of thing here where you had a downtrend in your RSI. Typically downtrends end in the oversold zone, but you haven't gotten oversold. Instead, you've kind of turned your downtrend into a sideways trend. You're ranging now sideways. Right, we've done this before where your downtrend's supposed to end in the oversold zone, but you didn't get there. You moved sideways, and then what happened? Then you moved up, right? I think we're going to get the same result here. It's very similar. It's actually very, very similar to what we were doing back here. And, I mean, the result that took place was pretty fantastic. Moved up from about $2 all the way up to $3.75. Here we are at $3 now. With that, we would likely move up above, I think, $4. Not only that, but probably above $5 as well. All in all, when XRP does start to move up, we'll know because, let's take this high to low right here, if it'll let me. Come on, TradingView, you can do it. I believe in you. There we go. Oh, that was not. Why is the magnet not on? Have I been flying without the magnet this whole time? I didn't even notice. High to low. Whenever we get a day to close above about $3.12, let's move it up. Let's say $3.13. You get a day to close above there, you should be home free. And I mean, if you really want to if you want to hold out until we're a little bit more certain, $3.40 might do it. But $3.13, whenever we close above there on a daily basis, I think you're home free, and you really will be seeing targets rapidly expand. Sorry, the price rapidly expand to these $4.16 to $5.38 targets, and I'm looking at that $5.38 area. That's probably where you're going to stop next. You know, beginning of September, maybe you come down a little bit, and then you continue to rally going into October. I would expect that we see this $13 to $16 area come to completion at this point in time. I'm starting to think that it will be by the end of October, but you never know. XRP can move pretty damn fast. It could definitely happen by the end of September. But I'm expecting at this point in time, with how much we've kind of lagged going into this end of month, it wasn't what we were expecting it to be. I would think that this will just get pushed back into October, and that's fine, right? I made a video earlier talking about alt season and how altcoins are likely going to continue to grow, not just between now and the end of October, but between now and the end of the year. We've got a lot of growth to come, you guys. We've got like anything from 20 to 40 weeks of alt season. So even where we stop here, it's going to be very brief, and then we're going to continue to rally all the way up to way higher prices. I don't think XRP is done at $13 to $16 by the end of this cycle. I think that we're probably somewhere above $40, if not even as high as about $70, something like that. But that might be for another video, another topic for another video. Bitcoin's getting a little squirrely here, back below 112K. Let's finish the day strong now, guy, okay? We're at 2 hours and 38 cents now. We need to move up. Is Bitcoin a guy or a girl? I don't know. 38 minutes left. We're dropping like this. I don't know. We got a lot of time left in this candle. We've been pretty volatile here. I'm not really too swayed by this, but I would like to see over the next couple of hours that we move up, okay? Nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.